Go ahead, kill this body, kill this body. Go ahead, kill this body. We shall always remain! We shall always remain! Enigma! We shall always be Enigma! We shall always be! We shall always be!
You're not evil. And you're not a demon. You're not a demon. I don't know what you were taught, but it's not true. Okay, somebody out there to get the door? I had an idea that this might happen. This is a real common reaction when things have been so far repressed down inside, and then they see it on videotape for the first time or hear it for the first time. Suddenly it becomes very real, and they know that things happen. It makes it, the denial melts away, and they're faced with the reality of the trauma and the pain. And it can be a real shock. In an outpatient setting, this may take place over weeks and months. In a hospital setting, we have the ability to present it to them right away, where the shock is greater, but they get over it more quickly and then understand what happened to them. What was going on at the time that you disappeared? What was the last thing you remember?
I was getting some threats and getting...
Later in the day, Gretchen had recovered. Kevin spoke with her and reassured her that she would prevail and succeed in her recovery.
I hear you. And part of what we're going to hope to get to is where you get to find out that you don't have to leave and you may be stronger by staying. Because you are more powerful than you think you are. Are you safe? Okay.
Thank you. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for the survival of this body, and more than just the survival of this body. I don't want to just survive. I have been just surviving for a long time. This is no way to live. I would like to begin living and feeling and not just existing.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the State University of New York, I hereby confer on you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto.
After 4 months of treatment in Texas, Gretchen returned home and finished college, graduating summa cum laude in the top 1% of her class. She now feels she knows who her abuser is, and therapy is helping her heal and gain control of her life. Gretchen plans to continue with her education. Who does the shooting?
I do. Scout does. Doc does.
Who are they?
There are various alters that I have.
John is an expert marksman. He was an Army Ranger and sharpshooter. At target practice, his alter personalities take turns shooting. John's personalities have different styles of firing a gun. Scout shoots from one knee.
What is your function in the system?
My function?
Yeah.
I act as the observer, the scout.
How do you help John?
Excuse me?
How do you work with John? How do you help John?
I give him the information he needs from time to time. The information that he's overlooked or has not noticed.
10-4-0005.
John shares his job as a police officer with several personalities who have different abilities. He switches when different police skills are needed and is always aware of what his other personalities are doing.
When
you're out here driving around at night? Who does what?
Yeah, it just sort of depends on the situation. Normally, I'm out quite a bit of the time. Oh, come on.
What are we doing?
Pickup truck over here matches something we've been looking for, possibly on a stolen auto.
As John began pursuit, he switched to a personality who was good at driving in high-speed chases.
He's weaving for the man, too.
Location. 10-4, 0013.
When the stop was made, there was another switch, and John returned to confront the driver of the truck.
Warning. You know how fast you were going? You don't have any idea? Does your odometer work on here?
Yeah, my flashlight's got burned out.
Flashlight's got burned out. I paced you at over 75 miles an hour.
Among his fellow officers, John has a good reputation. Lieutenant Pritchard is his commanding officer.
John knows what's going on when he's out there in any given situation. He's able to make decisions on his feet in tough situations and just think really fast.
This is while we were in St. Louis at the training academy. It's my rookie dog and me, the rookie handler. We worked patrol together for 4.5 years. Best partner I ever had, much better than any two-footed partner I ever worked with.
John showed us his scrapbook of 13 years as a police officer. He's had many awards and commendations which began early in his career.
In 1982, I was awarded the Outstanding Officer of the Year award by the JCs, which is an award that's offered every year. Hi.
While he was showing us the scrapbook, John switched to a 10-year-old personality named Johnny.
Hi.
John had trained his dog to stay out of the living room, but when he switched, the dog entered, sensing that his master was no longer present.
Okay, that's John.
Who's John?
He's an adult, and he's a policeman.
The child personality of Johnny recognizes John in the photograph and sees him as a separate person.
Awarded as the...
Johnny read the article from the scrapbook and, like a 10-year-old, had trouble understanding the words.
Enforcement Officer of 1982 by the I don't know, Jakeys?
When John switched back, the dog recognized him and left the room as he had been trained. John has been divorced 3 times and now lives alone. He's had problems with depression and unexplainable mood swings, especially controlling his temper. John used to have a drinking problem, but has been sober for years.
Did you ever go back after him? Was that okay or not?
I tried.
Yeah.
John's therapist is Julie Clark, who has been treating him since his diagnosis.
Push face first, okay?
Several years ago, John began having flashbacks of being abused as a child. He began therapy, and soon after, different personalities began to appear. John was hospitalized with a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress and multiple personality disorder. Since then, personalities with memories of abuse have come forward. like Edward, who remembers being shoved down a staircase.
How many years older was he?
10.
It's a lot of years.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, huh?
No.
The abuse his alter personalities remember was never known by John himself. He has only vague memories of growing up.
My memories of childhood are real limited. It's more like a framework. And I can tell you where I went to school. And maybe a little bit about some of the later grades. Along about 7th and 8th grade, I can fill in some blanks.
What John can remember is a stable home and being well provided for. He also remembers the voices that have always existed inside his mind.
I've always been aware that there were voices, okay, that I spoke with and that spoke to me. But I thought that was subconscious or thoughts or however you want to put it, I'm not real sure. It seemed natural, seemed normal.
The voices John heard were those of his 20 personalities. Many of them are frightened children who appear only in therapy. 5-year-old Hans was tortured with electricity.
How did he hurt you, Hans?